What up, people? It's Nickopz here, and today I am making the final Mortal Kombat 1 tier list. I really like doing these because it kind of makes it to where I can come back years later and look at how characters were perceived, and I think it's important for the community to have things like this to just have something in the logs, basically. But I have not made a video in a while, so if I mess up in this video, forgive me. I like to do tier list in one take. So let's get started on this. First character, the best character in the game, without a shadow of a doubt, is Havik. Now, I'm not sure how I want to talk about each character because this is the final video. I was thinking about talking about how they were perceived the whole life cycle of the game, but I might do a separate video for that. So I'll just do what I usually do in tier lists and just talk about like what makes them good, their strengths, their weaknesses, all that stuff. So Havik, the reason Havik is the best character in the game is because he plays Mortal Kombat 1 perfectly while also not having to care about anything any other character wants to do in this game. He has extra health, which he shouldn't have. He has, even with them nerfing him very heavily within the past couple of patches in the game, he's so good to where it doesn't even matter. He has some of the best armor moves in the game. He has really good neutral tools. He still has good mix because of the command grab. If you throw a striker on him, he's safe now too. With the striker buff, that helped him a lot, but he's still good with Movado. He just doesn't care. That's why Havik is so good. He doesn't really care about the rest of his cast. Havik is going to get in your face and he's going to do what he wants, and you can't really do nothing about it for the most part. That's why he's the best, and that's why if you look at the finals of the game, the last tournament of the game, he won it. And that's not to discredit the people that were playing the character at all, but the character is just that good. He really doesn't have a major flaw, and he really just does what he wants. So up next we have Johnny. Johnny is a character, y'all know me, like if if y'all are consistent on the channel, y'all know how I feel about Johnny. I think Johnny is the most downplayed character in this game's life cycle. First of all, Johnny is the most used tournament character in this game for a reason. Literally, this is not a opinion, this is a fact. Johnny is the most used tournament character in the game. This is Mr. Tournament Man. Johnny is great. He has amazing pressure. He has amazing neutral tools. He fights the cast very well. He has the best assist synergy in the game, period, point blank. And this is an assist fighter or a cameo fighter. He has the best cameo synergy in the game, and there's a reason behind that. He just meshes well with everyone. And throughout the game, people have tried to place Johnny like B and A, but I've never wavered. This character is amazing, and he is one of the most consistent characters in the game. And you could still debate that he's the best if you would like, but he is definitely up there. He does too many things like above average to be anywhere from up here. He's just an amazing character. And if you want a more in-depth explanation, I watched one of my mini rant videos about John, because everything I ranted about still stands to this day. He just got minor tweaks here and there. All right. Up next, we have Homelander. Homelander is a very great character. The game, by the end of Mortal Kombat 1's life cycle, the meta started to be defined by a lot of command grab type characters. And what can you do off of your command grab? You know, you're going to see that as a common trope with a lot of characters up here, where they had really good command grab tools, like half of them. And he has the best command grab in the game, period, point blank. He doesn't really have the benefit of having assist synergy like someone like Johnny, because he needs that command grab Pharaoh launcher. But he's great because all of these characters up here at the top, the cream of the crop, most of them they do something better than everyone else. And Homelander has the best, I would say, I don't want to say just straight up mobility, but you can argue it. I think the way he can open you up with having that ridiculous mobility while being able to just play at a range to where he can constantly be a threat and you cannot do anything about it, it makes him great. While having the best mix-ups in the game because he has the access to that instant air overhead move and some very good damage if he's in the right situations. He's just a, I don't want to say jack of all trades because he still has his flaws. You know, he has very bad defensive tools, but he's such a juggernaut offensively that that doesn't even matter. So I think Homelander is an example of a very strong neutral based mix up character done right because his defense is so abysmal. But his offense is so ridiculous that it doesn't matter how bad his defense is. Okay, Cyrax. Cyrax is amazing, but Cyrax is overrated. A lot of people think she's like number one, bar none, but that's not true. Cyrax is a very strong character. Her set play is the best set play in the game. Once she gets going, good luck. She can put you in situations with Madame Bo where she can feel like the best character in the game, but she's not. And why I say that is because a lot of people in the NRS community don't know how to do this thing called labbing, where they learn their options to get out of things. That's why historically, you know, whenever there's a decent setup character, they usually always get nerfed because the community is too lazy. They don't learn how to fight them. Setup characters are a cheat code in NRS games because the community is mostly full of people who don't want to lab how to deal with them. And Cyrax is a perfect example of that. Cyrax is amazing. She's very good. But literally 80 to 90% of this community just does not know how to fight the character. And if you want to argue tournament points, this, that, and the other, when it comes to the strength of the character, the literal only person in the world that has shown off the strength of this character is Sonic. There's no one else. All of these characters above her, there's multiple people that have shown off the character. So I think even putting Cyrax here is generous. But again, she has amazing set play, but what balances Cyrax is her tools. While she has some of the most ridiculous set play, once she gets going, she has to get going. And for her to get going, with the exception of using Madame Bo, you have to make a mistake for her to get going. So, and even with Madame Bo, you have plenty of chances to deal with her, but she punishes you very harshly for making mistakes. That's her thing. Her base tools, like her base neutral tools, her base buttons, and her all of her tools are not good until she gets going. That's why I think she's not as good as people act like she is, because you have to make the mistake for her to get started. Which, you know, you're going to do eventually because humans make mistakes. But again, she's not as dumb as everyone says she is. It's literally one person in the world doing that good with her. But she is great. I will not take that from the character. Okay, up next we have Scorpion. Scorpion is like the best character that never won a tournament. Or I don't want to say never because I don't remember, but barely wins. And here's the thing about Scorpion. Scorpion is simply the best, easiest character to play in the game. And usually, fighting games do everything in their power to avoid having a character like him. People don't usually want the poster boy to be like that, but he is. He is the easiest top tier to pick up. I even have a video. He was the final guide I made in this game, because after this game is like completely gone and people want to come back, and you know the game's on sale for like $5 somewhere, and you want an easy time, just watch my video on how to play Scorpion, and you will pick up easy wins. The easiest, best character. So obviously not the best, but for how good he is, he's dumb easy. You literally just mix with Farah and the stuff gels, and then you restand them into another 50-50. The reason Scorpion is so strong is because while having phenomenal tools to stop you from approaching him and amazing armor moves, all that, it's the restand too. He can put you in a situation and just make you guess again. Before you know it, you lost 60 to 70% of your life, and then he just has to touch you a couple more times. On top of the fact that um they buffed him in the last patch, gave him an unnecessary buff with the chain spin. It's not a big deal, but it's just something added to his kit. He's very good, but um the thing about Scorpion, while he's not higher, is because he needs Farah. Another one like Homelander, where they both really need Farah. But the difference with Homelander and Scorpion is Homelander is at least like still good without Farah. Scorpion is nothing without Farah. So thinking about it, I might place him a bit low because he's really nothing without Farah. Up next we have Sindel. Sindel is a hard one to play. Sindel's a really, really hard one to play because she got a nerf within the last patch. But I still think she is very good. I do think she's fallen off some. But she's a character that I don't feel like a lot of people play. I feel like she's definitely the least popular top tier. And she has many strengths. She's so good with Tremor. And still like very good with Loud. She's the best hard to blockable character in the game, meaning she can put you in situations where you have to guess high low instantly, and then she can just do a combo, hit you for around 30, 40, and then keep up her amazing pressure. She has phenomenal tools, and she really does not have that many weaknesses besides the fact that if you can keep her away, if you're a character that can keep her away, she does struggle. But that's about it. There's not many characters that do that. But she is still very strong, even with all the nerfs. Not even all the nerfs, the last major nerf to her. She's still very strong. Speaking of still strong with the major nerfs, T-1000. Now, T-1000, before his nerfs, you could debate he was like right here, right here. But I will put him at the bottom of the best tier in the game. T-1000 just has... Okay, when you get to the end of a game's life cycle, you really understand how developers want the game to be played, and T-1000 is the perfect example of that. Like, towards the end of the game started to become about like who had the really good mix and the command grabs. That's what the end of the game basically became, and they gave him both. T-1000 at his worst was top one, like actually, but over the little nerfs. All right, my fault. I had to pause the audio. I live by a hospital and siren. I didn't want to try to hear the siren. So, again, with T-1000, he really struggles from same thing as Sindel. Like, if you could keep him out, he struggles. But if you can't, oh no, he's just having his way. Like, after all the major nerfs, he still has a consistent way to keep opening you up, but it's not as oppressive as it was before. While um like he still has things like the double instant, he can jump into the overhead. He still has the standing forward pressure, even though it's not as good as it was before. He still has a command grab, even though it wasn't good as it was before. Like, he's still great. He just wasn't as good as he was on release. So that's where I would put him. Sektor. Now, I like talking about Sektor because Sektor is an interesting one. Because Sektor is a character that is right here because of good things and misfortune. And why I say that is because what makes Sektor so interesting is she is the top tier fighter. And what I mean by that, every character in this tier up here she either beats or can fight every character in the tier above her. So she, again, she beats the crap out of Cyrax. She doesn't have a problem fighting Scorpion, surprisingly. You would think he would kill her, but he doesn't. She fights Homelander just fine, if not beat him in some people's opinion. She fights Johnny just fine. She fights Havik well. I feel like it's more a skill level thing. Like if you're a really good Havik player, it's gonna be even. But if you're an average Havik player, you're using them to be carried, the Sektor's gonna run over you. And I would say Sektor does really good against T-1000 and Sindel. That's the thing. So Sektor, when it comes to these tiers up here, she kills. I'm not gonna say kills. Like she does really good against some of the best characters in the game, but she's really, really bad against some of the weaker characters in the game. And that's what I think is really cool about fighting games. Like, there's so much nuance to it. Because, again, if this game was just based off of these characters in this tier up here, she would be, like, around here. But that's not the case. That's why you will see her do good in tournaments that much. But in online representation throughout the game, without tournaments, she doesn't really do as well. But in, like, if you go look at leaderboards or anything like that, or like a lot of average to even high level players, at the top level she can do very well because she does good against the best in the game lineup. But she struggles against some of the weaker characters. It's really weird, but I do think it's cool because it shows how much nuance can be in a fighting game. So that's the thing on Cyrax. I mean, not Cyrax, Sektor. She's really good. Best zoner in the game, free. That's why she's so good. There's not much talk about her. She's the best zoner, and she is the best zoner in a game where zoning isn't that important, but it still means something against a lot of characters in the cast. But she's amazing. She just struggles against some of the weaker characters. So that's what throws her off from being in the best tier. Shao Kahn. Where is Shao Kahn? Shao Kahn, I want to say he's like another overrated character. Here's the thing about Shao Kahn, I'll just keep it real. He has some really dumb neutral and some really dumb mix, but people have been acting like with this whole game's life cycle that he's like a sleeper top 5, but he's really not. And I say this every time I talk about him, and I'm going to say it again. Shao Kahn is top tier when he throws his axe down. That is when Shao Kahn is top tier. But the fact of the matter is he is not in that axe form permanently. If he could start off the game by completely being in his second form, he would be up here. But he cannot, so he is right here. That is simple as that. The second form is what makes him so good. The first form is okay, but that second form is ridiculous. And since he can't stay in that second form forever, he will never be as good as people say he is. That's all there is to it. But he's amazing. Don't get it wrong. I got him up here for a reason. Ermac. 50% combos. And yeah. Ermac's one of the hardest hitting characters in the game. He suffers from not having any cameo synergy, in my opinion. I feel like there would be I feel like there's cameos that give him tools that he lacks that would make him very good, but he needs Janet, unfortunately, for the grab combo and the ridiculous damage. But as far as him getting around the screen and being able to open you up consistently instead of massively or a little chip, that's what he basically is. He's either going to hit you with 50 or grab you for 17. And while that's still good, I feel like if he was able to play around with more tools in the cast, he would be higher, but he can't do it, unfortunately, because you just can't lose 50% combos in a grab combo. He has to suffer in neutral because of that, though. But he's very strong. But he's just not the cream of the crop. That's all there is to it. Well, I guess up here is cream of the crop, but the S tier is so good that it's like not even funny. But yeah, Ermac, I think he's up there, but especially with a lot of the characters that were better than him coming down some, he's definitely right there. Ghostface. I think that Ghostface is the most underrated character in the game, especially after the striker buff. Ghostface can do the same thing to you that basically a character I was talking about, like Ermac, can do. But he can do it. Actually, Ghostface is really underrated. He could do it while opening you up. Like Ghostface has some of the best mix in the game, and with Striker, some of the best damage in the game. But he has to touch you. That's the thing. It Once Ghostface maneuvers through the minefield that some characters put up, or getting around some characters neutral. Once Ghostface is in your face, it is party time. That character, when he's in your face, is a menace. When he's in your face, he could be the best mix-up character in the game. Possibly. But his mix-ups are ridiculous. That's a Mortal Kombat 10 character right there. And I feel like I just don't understand why more people don't play him, honestly. I know that zoning is a problem that a lot of NRS players don't really know how to deal with for the most part in the whole. And I guess I can say that's why he might not be as popular, because if you do keep him at bay, he is not much of a threat. But I mean, when he's in your face, he's literally hitting you with 50% like command grab combos and looping like 50-50 pressure. Not even mentioning his other forms, just the assassin forms make him better than he already is base. It's like Shao Kahn in a way, but not as deep. So Ghostface is ridiculous. I think he's the most underrated character in the game. Free. Reiko. Where's Reiko at? Reiko would be higher. But I'll never forget that in one of Sonic's tier lists, he explained Reiko perfectly. Like, I couldn't think of a more perfect way that someone could explain Reiko. Reiko, the comparison Sonic made was to Tekken, where there's big Tekken and there's small Tekken. And not not to go too much in depth about it, because it is a completely different game. But basically, to translate how I feel about Reiko based off of what he said as well. Um, Reiko doesn't have, what's the word? Reiko doesn't have really good. This one is a hard one to describe, because Reiko is a good character. Let's talk about what makes him good first. Reiko has like the quick knockdown overhead, the amazing sweep, the amazing low sweep. He has two really good low pokes, and it's just he's really good at the small things. Like, he has really good base tools initially, but when it comes to cashing out, like good long terms, like his big moments, they're not that great. Like, yeah, he's gonna splat you with that overhead a lot, or hit you with that sweep a lot, or even before have that really good projectile. But once he's actually in, he isn't like going to hit you with something that's going to like terrify you. He has to keep hitting you over and over again, which isn't bad because he can do it, but he doesn't do it in a way that would make him up here, basically. Again, very good tools, but his, like, for example, he doesn't have anything that is centered around his kit that makes him ridiculous. He has a bunch of good little tools, though. Like, for example, how Homelander has forward four, how Scorpion has the back three, or the sand two, like really good tools. How Sindel has float. How Term has standing four, or the fact that he can command grab off of anything. Like, Reiko's good. Don't get it wrong, he's completely good, but it's more a bunch of little tools made up that make him good. So that's the perfect way I can put Reiko. Now, up next, we have Conan. Conan is a very, very good character. But he doesn't have a consistent way to open you up. That's it. If this character had a command grab, this character had a command freaking grab, he would be like all the way up there. But he doesn't. So he's right there. Conan has some of the best buttons in the game, some of the best pressure in the game, and has some of the most health in the game. And he's very easy. He is the perfect character for meatheads. Like, if you know you a meathead type player, you know who you are. You know, you don't really want to think that much. You just want to press buttons and have fun. Conan's your guy. That is your guy right there. And you're going to have a lot of fun with the character. If you like the Kodals, the Shaos and stuff too, this is your character right here. But he does suffer from not having a consistent way to open you up, so he has to grab you a lot. And if he didn't have to do that, he would be much better. But that's basically it. Like, he's amazing. One of the best, easiest characters, like, in the game to play. Kind of like Scorpion in a way, but he just doesn't have a consistent way to keep opening you up. If he had that, oh, the sky would be the limit with this character. Geras. Freaking Geras. I told y'all so. I can't wait to get on a video and say I told y'all so about Geras. I kept telling people that Geras was underrated. Geras literally has everything in the game but fast buttons. And usually when I say everything, I have to, oh, but he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. No, Geras has everything. Mix-ups, long range, normals, like his own mechanics, a command grab. Even though the projectile's not good, he has it. Like, ways to stop you from zoning. Again, like the setups, he has it all. He's just, thing about Geras is he takes more work than all of these characters up here that are better than him. That's it. But that doesn't make him not good. He's still good, but he doesn't have to. He has to work. To play Geras, you have to put in the time and the work to basically get all the good out of the character. But why do that when you can play a character better than him? You can say that, but that doesn't mean that he's not ridiculous. He just takes a lot of work. Kenshi is a character that has fallen down bit by bit in each of my tier lists. Kenshi, it was considered potentially top one at a point, but looking back on it, I don't think he ever was top one. I don't think I even ever placed him top one. The thing about Kenshi is comparable to Cyrax in a way. So where once Kenshi gets going, he's comparable to Cyrax and Cyrax and Shao. And why I say that is because, first of all, he's three different characters in one. So when Kenshi has, in base form, Kenshi's like right here, like A. When he is in Sento form without Sento, he's like right here. But when he has you sandwiched and both of the Sento, when he has Sento and he's in your face, he's like right here. But he has to get there. Like Shao, I say with Shao, he has to get there. And then like with Cyrax, I said he has to get going. So Kenshi has to get going to be a menace. But once Kenshi is get going, you have no bar and he got that Sento on you and you're guessing looping 50-50s over and over again, of course he could feel like he's up here. Of course. But he has a lot of things before he gets there, which, again, first of all, he has to touch you, which it takes a while for him to do because he has to get around your zoning. And then once he gets close, he has to bait your armor too, because there's some characters that can just spam armor into a cameo to keep him at bay. He has to deal with you. That's the thing. Kenshi has to deal with you before he becomes Kenshi. When there's characters that don't have to deal with you, like Johnny, like especially Havik, they don't have to deal with you. Kenshi has to deal with the player, no matter the skill level. And on top of that, he's not easy to play. So once he gets started, he's ridiculous, but he has to get started. Up next, we have Mileena. Mileena is a character that I actually do. I want to place her? No, Mileena's very good. She just suffers from um the same thing. Like I say, Homelander and Scorpion suffers. She doesn't have really good cameo synergy. Like, well, let me take that back because she can pop on a Tremor, allow, or a even a Farrah. Farrah gives her good things. But I feel like what she just gets from Lao is way too good and way too consistent to make up for her major weakness, which is her neutral. She has some of the worst neutral in the game, but once she plops on a Kung Lao assist, that doesn't matter. So it lets her be Mileena, but still it doesn't give her access to the cameo system that could give her better things. How Kung Lao might give her the amazing neutral or the usable neutral because it takes her neutral from being bad to good, just not amazing. Where Farrah gives her a grab combo, which is really good. So if her neutral wasn't just so bad to where she basically had to use Lao in so many matchups, she could actually get away with using other cameos, but she can't. So that's why I have her here. Once she gets in, of course, she's good. She has the really good overhead, the really good sweep, some of the best meterless damage in the game, some of the best mobility in the game. She's just really a good, solid, well-rounded character, but she suffers from her lack of neutral. That's basically it, and she doesn't really have something to make up for it without throwing on a cameo. Unlike character I'm throwing in now, Liu Kang. Liu Kang is one of my most hated characters in this game. I hate this character. Um, and but I'm not gonna be biased on my rating of him. I feel like there's characters I describe as idiot fuel. That's like the Kung Laos, the Omni-Mans, and then the Liu Kangs. I think there are some characters made for idiots, and I'm not trying to be mean. Like, of course, don't take me attacking your character as an attack on you. Okay, I don't know you personally. Okay, some people take your hate for fighting game characters to a different level, but I hate this character. I feel like the character is made for people who are bad. And actually, um, I'll never forget this now. Uh, Shout out Brady, MK Tom Brady. I'll never forget when the one video we have where he was telling me something about how Ed Boon was chose to design Liu Kang. He literally wanted Liu Kang to be like as easy as possible. So again, y'all have to confirm that more with Brady because I don't remember what he said specifically, but like Liu Kang was designed for idiots, like actually, and um, I do think now that my little rant on him is over, I feel like if you are talentless and don't have any skill in any type of way in fighting games, just play Liu Kang. Like you'll be fine. Just forward, four, and grab. That's how you play Liu Kang. And he has some of the most oppressive, like basic game plan in the game. It's literally forward four or grab or delay forward four or throw in 1-2-1 because he has a launching auto shimmy now. So he literally is just so basic. Like literally how I described to play him, that's all you do. It's literally all you do with this character. But again, he kind of suffers in a way from his lack of really good neutral tools because his buttons are abysmal range wise. And but unlike Mileena, he can make up with it for his projectiles, but the projectiles can only do so much. So that's why I place Kang there. Noob is another character that I feel like was one of the more overrated characters in the game. The fact that people ever fix their lips to call this character a potential top five character is ridiculous. This character is good, but he's not broken. He's not top tier. Like I was even tricked. This is one character where I believe the hype for a bit, but he's just not. He's alright. Like, I don't want to say alright because I will put him at the top of A tier. He's good. He's really good actually. You know, he got the portals to check you. He got some unique zoning, but it works. He can hit you with some really good 50-50s. But common trend, as you're noticing, is going down more and more. Um, his neutral tools. And what I mean by neutral tools basically is, well, that would take a whole video because neutral is actually very in depth, more than people describe it as. But basically, the characters that the buttons he has to control space are not that good. And if this character just had one big button, like a Scorpion back three or stand two or Homelander forward four, oh my gosh, he would be so much better. But he's lacking good big buttons. He has everything else, but good big buttons matter. Like, or having the tools to make it not matter, and he doesn't have that. So again, he is really good, a really well-rounded character. Honestly, one of the most well-rounded characters in the game. I just think he was incredibly overrated. Baraka. Here's the thing about Baraka. It's kind of like Sektor, how I was describing Sektor. Baraka has a really, really interesting matchup spread. If Baraka beats your character, you have no chance. Like, he does really good against characters that have to keep dealing with his looping striker or loud pressure that really don't benefit from armoring out of it, really don't make him have to think. If a Baraka doesn't have to think against you, you don't have tools to make him like scared of your armor or make him worry about fighting you in the neutral or anything like that. Baraka can actually just steamroll most of this cast. But the problem is, it's kind of reverse in a way. A lot of the better characters do really good against him. So the characters that you're going to see more fight him very well, but like those niche picks don't do good against him at all. So it's like a reverse Sektor in a way. He doesn't really do good against the better characters in the game, but he steamrolls half the cast. So that's why he's like perfectly in the middle, like right here. Up next, Takeda. Another overrated one, kind of like what I described with Cyrax. It's literally just one person in the world, Lavender Rain. Now, Nickopz had like a Takeda here and there, but it was really only Lavender Rain showing the strength with this character. And even he doesn't only play the character. He chooses to play other characters because like Takeda's not enough. Takeda's really good. Again, A tier is still good in this game, but Takeda doesn't have he doesn't have a consistent way to open you up, and that's basically it. He has really good tools. He has really solid damage, but if you can't open a player up, then what does it matter? Of course, he has the throw game, which a lot of characters can do in this game, but it's the answer, like I said with other characters, why play Takeda? There's no reason to play Takeda. If you can get better buttons with like Scorpion and Homelander, you can get better, get actual mix. If you like with Ghostface or T-1000, you can get better armor with anyone else in the game. Like, there's no reason to play him, but he's still like really, really well rounded. Just not a reason to play him. Nitara is a character. I'm noticing a lot of people in the A tier are characters I personally felt like were overrated. Nitara is a strong character. She has some of the best damage in the game. And if she opens you up, you're going to die. But like I said with characters like Kenshi, she has to touch you. And some characters, like the final character I'm going to put in this tier, it is like abysmal for her to even get close in it. It's really hard for her to get close to some of the cast. Even though she has amazing mobility, if you're a character that can be a wall, and or if you're just a character that has a lot more health than her, like Conan or something, she has to work. But doesn't mean that she's not good. It's just she doesn't have really top tier tools. She has top tier damage, and she gets good mix with Farah, but the rest of her tools are not good enough to warrant her being anywhere from the middle of the pack. Kitana. Again, and if you're noticing the common trope with this, the A tier, they're good still, but they have something holding them back. Kitana, same thing as Takeda in a way. Really good base tools, really well-rounded, good damage. Doesn't really, she actually has good armor, unlike him, but she doesn't have a consistent way to open you up. And the cameos that she puts on, she can't put on a cameo that is going to benefit her whole kit while being able to open you up. So she's going to be able to play her game well, which is, everybody knows how Katana's played for years, but it doesn't really translate that well into this game. And if she had like Flutter, that little float move, oh, she would be potentially top 5, but she doesn't. So she's right here, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, good old basic mid character. And the final character of this tier is Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is the most controversial character in the game. He's talked about a lot, all the time, and I really don't have much to say about Sub-Zero because I felt like I made so many videos on him. But the thing about Sub-Zero, it's like another matchup chart thing. Like if Sub-Zero does good against you in the matchup, you're gonna hate him. And he is one of the most annoying characters to fight in the game, bar none. Because here's the thing about Sub-Zero. I guess I do have some stuff to say about Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is one of those characters where the skill level of the player, I'm not gonna say doesn't matter, but fighting Sub-Zero, you have to deal with Sub-Zero and not the player because of his tools. Main one being Ice Clone. Like, you still have to think against a bad Sub-Zero player. And even if you win this, that, and the other, it doesn't matter. You still have to think when you fight a Sub-Zero player. No matter, like, if they're around your skill level. And I do feel like he's bounced around a lot. There's some people that said he was, like, top 10 with Chameleon. There's some people that say he's, like, bottom 5. But I just think he falls under that category where there's no really real reason. There's no real reason to play Sub-Zero. Like, why play Sub-Zero unless you just really love Clone or really love Sub-Zero? Like, genuinely, why? And I still think he's good, though. It's just, don't see a reason to pick him over a lot of characters. But still a good character, solid. Little like, slightly below average character, in my opinion. Or around average. Raiden. I would say Raiden is another interesting one. Here's the thing about Raiden. Raiden suffers because this game is a cameo game. If this game wasn't a cameo game, Raiden would be top 5. Raiden has some of the worst cameo synergy in the game. Period, point blank. His cameo synergy is a joke. And that's why after they literally had to nerf Kano specifically for him, when they nerfed Kano, it brought him down massively. Raiden has good base tools, like the amazing low, the really good overhead, teleport. Tools are great, but he doesn't have a cameo to bring him to the next level. And because his synergy with cameos in the game is so bad, it unfortunately puts him like right here. Ashrah. Ashrah is the perfect example of a character getting power creep. At the beginning of the game, everyone thought she was right here. Then everyone was like, okay, well, you know, she's still staying here. A couple more patches and people started to see that, like, Raiden, her cameo assist synergy wasn't good. They're like, okay, she's probably like right here. And then more characters in the game started to come out, like the Cyrax and Ermac and Ghostface. And then she started to drop some more. And then a couple more characters started to come out, started to drop some more again. And then some patches came out, made some other characters better, like Nitara and Baraka, and she drops some more again while she's received like mainly nothing throughout the game. So at the end, that puts her right here. She started off a pretty good character, but she got literally power crept through a lot of patches and a lot of character releases down here. So the thing about Ashrah is Ashrah suffers from not being able to open you up and cameo synergy. That's basically it. She gonna hurt you once you get in your face. Her neutral's good, but you can have the best neutral in the world. If you can't open somebody up, what does it matter? I hate Quan Chi. His character is disgusting. Matter of fact, I'm not putting him down here. I don't care what this community says. I don't care how many people try to tell me he's bad. I don't care what this freaking community says. You cannot be bad with that armored portal. You cannot be bad with a move that knocks you out of combos, drains your meter, and literally makes you dang near invincible. I'm sorry. No. I'm not putting him no lower than A for that freaking portal alone. And then he kept getting little buffs here and there. This character is okay. I'm tired of people acting like he's so bad. Now I gotta be fair. Okay, his base tools are bad. I'm not biased, y'all. His base tools are really bad. Like, his pokes are a joke. His buttons are a joke. His damage is a joke. But that armor portal, I'm sorry. That armor portal is broken. You can literally put the armor portal on anybody in this freaking game, and they are not B tier. I don't care who you put that armor portal on. Anyone in this game. Any character I place lower than this, they're automatically A. I don't care. That's all I'm going to say. I don't care. I'm done. Done. That armor portal is broken. Okay. Reptile. Poor Reptile. Reptile is the perfect example of a failed jack of all trades. They tried to make Reptile a jack of all trades in this game, and they failed. And they kept buffing him by giving him things that he already should have had in the first place. So there was no solid foundation to build upon with this character, because every freaking single buff that this character got should have been base kick. Then he should have been buffed from there. So that is why Reptile is placed here. Rain is just not good. I used to think Rain was a sleeper, honestly, but he's just not good. He's a very stiff character to play, first of all. There's no reason to play him. He doesn't have really good base tools. He is at least like decent with cameo synergy in this game, but there's not a singular reason to play Rain. Like, I like what they tried to do with him, like just to switch it up, but this is not good. I literally have nothing good to say about this character besides like his auto shimmy game is good. That's it. He's just bad. And I think I'm actually gonna play some lower. He's really just not that good. Kung Lao. Kung Lao suffered from them nerfing his armor. That's it. When Kung Lao had that armor, he was ridiculous. He was like up here. But they nerfed literally what he was based around. He was based around that armor. And after they took it away from him, he became one of the weaker characters in the game. He still can he still has a good matchup spread, but he suffers from having bad cameo synergy, with also the focal point of his kit just being taken away from him. Do I agree with it being taken away from him? Absolutely. It was completely obnoxious. It was idiot fuel. But I do think they should have buffed him more to make up for that nerf. And they do not. So he's down here. Peacemaker. I actually put Peacemaker a little higher. I think Peacemaker is a little bit underrated. I think he's still really good with in the right situations, not overall. Like when basically when they nerfed Eagly, it hurt him a lot, but he's still okay in my opinion. I don't think he's as bad as people act like he is. As a matter of fact, I think I'll put him like right here. He's he got decent tools. He still has the anti-gravity, even though it was nerfed, where he could just move around the screen how he wants. He still has a really good mid-string, threatening command grab. Matter of fact, no, I don't. I really don't see why people place him so low. I really don't. I would put him like right here. Annoying the fighters could be, like, and his cameo synergy isn't great, but he is solid with the cameos he works with. Yeah, I think he's just a nice, solid A tier character. Not too crazy. He's not gonna win a tournament or anything, but he's okay. Smoke is. I don't like talking about Smoke because Smoke reminds me of how many. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a casual player at all, like a casual skill level player where you're not worried about being good at the game. You just hop on after school or hop off your 9 to 5, get on, mash some buttons, and have fun. But the thing is, that's who Smoke beats. Smoke beats the typical player, and I am not the typical player in this game. Again, I know people don't like when people say they're good at something, but like I've consistently hit Elder in this game over and over. Matter of fact, last time I hit Elder, I had a 90% win rate. So I know how to play this game. And with that being said, I know how to look at the game at multiple different levels because I do watch a lot of people play. I play myself, and I do play the game at the high level. So I really think I'm good at judging the game at a lot of different levels. But the thing about Smoke is Smoke, like mid-level players and below, mid-level players and below, Smoke is like right here. That that's just a fact. And when you try to tell somebody who actually doesn't play fighting games for real that Smoke is actually just not that good, they don't get it. All they see is a character who can go invisible and character who has 50/50s that are all reactable, but you can't tell them no better. Like you can't tell them like, hey, the invisibility really doesn't matter that much because you could literally like passively like fuzzy everything he does because his mix-ups are so slow. You can't tell like a lower level player that they're just gonna see invisibility and like lose their mind. So even within the final patch of the game, when we talking about it, I don't really have much to say about Smoke because I feel like what I've learned by the end of the game's life cycle, you just can't tell people about Smoke because most people have a capped skill level. So most people will never understand how bad Smoke actually is because they will never be good enough to understand. And that's not bad if, but you know, if my thing is a lot of people who rate Smoke think they really know what they're talking about, but they really don't. The character's just not that strong. But against most of the player base, he is. So that's where you can leave it up to you to judge. But I think he's right there. And the rest is the C tier. Now, Tanya. Tanya, actually, no, I would put her right here. She's okay. She's still all right with Farah. She's just like Kung Lao. She suffered from the armor nerf. When in the meta where it was all about armor, and the one before that was like Lao assist. But when safe armor was the focal point of the meta at a point, she was like top 5, honestly. But like Lao, they nerfed what she was based around, and they didn't buff her enough to make up for that. So she just whatever now. I think she's the least popular character in the game too. And after that, we have Omni-Man. Omni-Man is another one like Smoke. Like, and I hate Omni-Man. I think Omni-Man is for idiots. I think the number one character for idiots, actually. I think that he does not benefit a good player in any type of way. He doesn't have the skill set, like the tools to have a good player actually shine. I think he's genuinely meant for bad people. And he's not that good though. But against bad players, he's very, very good. But again, if you're decent at the game, Omni-Man should never be able to open you up for the most part. He should have to try to grab you 50 million times to kill you. And he should lose in the process. He's really not that strong. But against most of the cast, I mean, the most of the player base, he can run rampant because his toolkit is literally meant to do what he wants against bad players while also being a character that thrives in the hands of a bad player. Mei. So to talk about Mei was this. What they wanted Mei to be in this game with Sonya is very obvious. Like that, how Sonya would have played if she was in this game is Mei, but I think they failed miserably because she has a very bad full screen game and very bad neutral tools, and she's not dumb enough once she gets in to make up for that. If she was dumb enough when she got in your face, all her lackluster other tools wouldn't matter. But that's the simple fact of the matter is once she gets in your face, she's not scary at all. So that's why she's like right there in my opinion. Yeah, she has ridiculous damage, but I mean, it doesn't matter if the rest of your kit is so bad. Now, to the last character, Shang. Shang, I feel like I perfectly describe Shang in every video, so I'm gonna stick with that. Would be an amazing character if he would be an amazing character if he wasn't split. I feel like if all of his tools were combined into one character, he would be a top 10 character. But Shang is a perfect example of a failed stance switch character. If you want to see what a good stance switch character looks like, look up Zeku from Street Fighter V. That is a perfect stance switch character. They just got him wrong. That's it. He's not bad if he's combined, but the fact that he has to split his tools are the reason he suffers. And that is it. I hope you all enjoyed the final Mortal Kombat 1 tier list. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And Nickopz out. I hope you all have a great day.